I'm really happy to talk to Gabrielle Clemens today. Gabrielle, welcome to She Can and thank you for talking to us. Tell us a bit more about yourself and what you do.
I will happily do so. Stephanie, so nice to see you today, and I'm so excited to be here. So thank you for inviting me. Um, Today I am a wealth manager in Boston and Florida, and I spread my time between both places. And I recently wrote a book called Marriage is About Love, Divorce is About Money. My background is I was a trust and estate, divorce, and tax attorney prior to transitioning to wealth management. When my son, who is now 26, when he was just turning one, I decided, it's the partner track and the demands of travel and in billable hours, that business structure really wasn't going to work for me. So because I wanted to be home with my family and have the flexibility that women don't often have when they're on that kind of high profile, high fast track for career advancement. So I transitioned to financial services. I never look back, and I love it. So I'm very happy to that I made that decision.
Gabrielle, thank you for saying it so honestly because that's the story of a lot of women. And so I think there is obviously a lot of change needed. But tell us a bit more about your journey, Gabrielle, and how you got to writing this book and sort of becoming an expert in that area.
Well, becoming an expert just means you've been doing it for a really long time. You've seen a lot of things. You've made a lot of mistakes, and you know where all the potholes are, and you know where all the skeletons are in which closets. So, I've been doing this a long time. I graduated law school in 1992 after a career in Europe in real estate. And I just really liked the numbers, and I really liked family law. My parents were divorced, and I've been divorced, and I just found it very interesting. And when I was going through the divorce law, family law paradigm, I really didn't like certain parts of it. And so what I found I gravitated to, and hence my master's in tax, I liked the number part. And I liked explaining and working with individual clients. And so when I first transitioned to wealth management, my practice really was dedicated to helping women understand the agreements that they were signing and understand how the numbers were going to flow, help them understand, yes, this is a good settlement arrangement because this is how the numbers are going to work for you, or no, this is unsustainable and we need to make some adjustments. Either you need to go back to work, or you need to spend less money, or downsize the home. Adjustments need to be made within the framework of the law. So I found that very gratifying. And over the years, I found myself saying and doing the same things over and over again because, more and more people, in particular women, stay-at-home moms, were facing the divorce process. And I thought, I just have to write this all down and really just put what I've learned through trial and error into the written format. So now I can say, here, the book is divided into the before, during, and after divorce sections. So if you're just contemplating divorce, you read the first third of the book, and it will be some things to think about. I have a lot of people calling me, both men and women now, since the traditional roles have changed. And I work with a lot of stay-at-home dads. I work with a lot of same-sex couples. And people who identify as one or the other or something in between, and basically, people just want to know, can I leave this marriage, and what is that going to look like for me financially? What are the laws in Massachusetts? I've talked to my friend, I've talked to my sister, my brother, my mother, my neighbor, and I'm getting all conflicting advice, and that's very common, especially if you have family members or confidants in other states where the laws are very different from state to state. I wrote this book. It's Marriage is About Love, Divorce is About Money. I wrote this book to be applicable, worldwide, and certainly nationwide here in the United States. There are a lot of I've heard from a lot of expatriate men and women who are living, American citizens who are living overseas, who need to understand how they can go through the divorce process without actually being here. But in any case, so as you're contemplating, navigating the divorce process, what are the things that you need to think about? And as people go through this process, some people decide to really give it another go at the divorce, at the marriage, because it could be precarious. You're really not sure how things are going to proceed. You don't know what your separation is going to look like. And judges, especially here in Massachusetts, are fickle, and they're not consistent in the way that they apply the law. So, if you knew what your lifestyle was going to look like once you're divorced, then you might approach the divorce differently. You might approach your marriage differently. But it definitely informs someone who's contemplating this big life transition to what to expect. The second part of the book is all about as you're going through the divorce. So as you're navigating the process, how to choose an attorney, how to gather your financials, what to expect, what to invest in, or at least what to think about when you are spending time and energy and emotions on this process, certainly money on this process, and what's going to be the benefit for those dollars of value that you're spending. And then after the divorce is over, what needs to be done to tie things together, tidy things up, what needs to be followed through, because typically your lawyer leaves and they may have a follow-up. Certainly they'll send you their final bill, but you may not have a roadmap as to what to do next. And so that's where this third part of the book leads you to find an estate planning attorney, find an accountant, find a financial advisor if you don't have one yet, maybe a realtor to downsize your home. So there are a lot of things that have to take place in order for this divorce to truly be complete and appropriate for you to move forward. So that's what I put in writing.
Gabrielle, I feel like you're giving so much amazing advice and a how-to map, because it's a highly emotional time in someone's life and you're really making it easier. So thank you for that service. I'm sure the book is amazing. Tell us what motivates you going forwards in that work with couples or individuals within a couple. And it's lovely to hear that some might be deterred from going down that route.
Yes, I've had a few decide to reconcile and give it a go, and I love that, because I think people have this idea of what your post-divorce life is going to look like, and we really need to get down to brass tacks. Some people it's better, some in some ways. Other people they're not as comfortable financially, and that's okay, as long as you're okay with downsizing or working a second job or a first job, or just having your children every other weekend, or right now here in Massachusetts, 50-50 custody or visitation parenting time, call it what you will. The names are changing with the times, but it's are you going to feel comfortable with your children going to your spouse's, your ex-spouse's house, and maybe their new spouse, and being reared by them 50% of the time? So some people haven't really thought that through. They say, oh, he or she travels, they're not going to be around, they're not going to get parenting time. But they will, and they're entitled to it. You had a child with this person, they are just as entitled as you are. So just sort of thinking it through, especially if you had a family member or a friend who went through divorce and ended up really nicely financially or otherwise, that may or may not be your case. So it's really to manage your expectations around your post-divorce lifestyle and doing it in a way that's concrete. And there's nothing more concrete than the numbers. And if we're running the numbers and we know what they are, we know what your support's going to be, we know what your obligations are, paying for college, which here in the US is very expensive. If you haven't saved, if you have a 2-year-old versus a 17-year-old, the picture is very different. And it's really putting all of this in writing was important to me, because so that you can go back, you can mark up the pages, you can, you can fold down a particular page that's important now that in 3 months is going to be irrelevant because you're on to the next part of the process. So highlighting certain things and just having a handbook to get you through this, I think that's what motivated me to write this. And what's coming up next will be a series of other books, just for women only or blended families. I've been asked to do a lot of writing and speaking about blended families. So let's say you're going to get remarried, what is that going to look like? And really a roadmap for that, because even more, well, the percentage is even higher for divorce in second marriages than it is for first. So we really have to prepare and manage your expectations around what you're looking for in the next partnership, financial and emotional partnership, if you do get remarried.
I love that. I think that's amazing. And I think so helpful in times when one is really not necessarily concentrating on the facts and the data and all of that more rational stuff that one needs to think about. Gabrielle, I'm wondering what top tips would you give to someone who is now contemplating potentially leaving, that marriage?
Well, I would start to get your finances in order, get your proverbial ducks in a row, and really get a sense of your cash flow. So know where your money's coming from, what your household income is, and what your household expenses are. And if the laws in your particular jurisdiction are generous enough to give you enough money to live on, and maybe you even if you are the primary earner, you may have to support your spouse, and you may not have the cash flow that you currently have. So think about alternatives. What does this look like? What am I willing to do? How old are my children? If your children are, 16, 17, maybe just try trial separation or live apart for a little while. See if this is something that really is sustainable and something that you really want. Now, I'm not talking about, issues where there are domestic violence or you're in serious danger. Absolutely, get to a shelter, reach out to, the professionals, reach out to the police, reach out to those people who can help. But if you're truly just not feeling it anymore, and you're thinking, maybe a separation would work, temporary or permanent, really know the numbers, because that's where you're going to feel the change more than anywhere in the most practical sense of a separation. So I do have a lot of people who say, I never expected this to be, so I never expected to have to go back to work or get a second job or have to sell my house. And those are the practical realities that you need to be prepared for, and just willing to face. And also interview attorneys, interview the people who would be helping you through this process, mediators, attorneys, accountants, financial advisors, therapists. Certainly get a therapist on your team, understand why it is that you're feeling this way, and maybe you can fix the marriage, or maybe not. And at least you'll have a practical understanding of what to expect as you go through this process.
Yeah, you don't go into it blue-eyed. Yeah, yeah.
Correct.
Gabrielle, so what are you most proud of to date?
Oh my goodness, that's a great question. I think the book is what I'm most proud of, and the impact that the book has had and that I have had on the people that I've been able to help going through this process. I have so many people send me flowers, people send me thank you notes. People are truly grateful that they understood in a practical sense what to expect through this process, written by a woman, and from the perspective of the financial aftermath. And it's just the book provides checklists and thoughtful things, such as create a vision board for your future and really start to envision what you want. What do you think, is on the other side? And is there any way you can get that in your current marriage if you're safe? But what exactly are you looking for? And the impact of some of the messages in my book, such as the person you're divorcing is not the person that you married. And that resonates with a lot of people, because they say, wow, I saw this person in business and now he's treating me like a business deal. And this is similar to a business deal. You're no longer on the same side. And they start to see this through a different lens and understand that for the attorneys, for every professional that's involved in your divorce, this is a business. And to your spouse, this could be a business too. And that's hard to accept, especially when you're dealing with your children, especially young children, and adjusting their lives to their new normal, which could be a very happy, very healthy new normal for them. Maybe it's better. So definitely having a therapist on your team is really important. But I'm most proud of the book because I really feel as though the impact that it's had and the message that it's brought. It may not solve all of your problems, but it will certainly get you on the path to the questions to ask, the people you need on your team to get you through this process with the most success. Success is different for everybody. So whatever your success is where I want you to be on the other side of this divorce, and I want to help you prepare for that.
Amazing, Gabrielle. Thank you so much. And what are your plans, dreams, goals? What's in store for you?
Oh, who knows? I never know, Stephanie. It's sort of I'm on my path, and I have a couple other projects in the works. And if Oprah wants to call me and partner on something, well, then who knows, that could always work too. So I just love being here and meeting your audience and sharing my story. And I just think I couldn't be happier at the moment. So I'm satisfied.
Definitely more books, and
definitely more
Oprah's
books.
calling, you'll be free.
Yes, exactly. Yes. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Gabrielle, for this conversation.
My pleasure, Stephanie. Good to see you. And I welcome, please, anybody wants to email me, we'll put the email in the link somewhere, and please reach out. Happy to share anything with you.
Thank you.